Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Railroader. It's been a hot minute. I haven't really had time to do any videos, unfortunately. I have a lot of life problems, still have a lot of life problems, but now that I got a breathing minute, I figured I'd sit down and give a little bit of an update to the channel, as well as check out some fun that's been going on with Railroader. I've been playing the snot out of Railroader lately, alongside of Star Wars Outlaws. It's been kind of my two go-tos. If you haven't checked out Star Wars, the Outlaws game, I thought it was pretty solid. I still haven't finished it, but I'm taking a break from it. I put in 120 hours in a month, which for me is kind of wild hours. But yeah, unfortunately we lost our second vehicle, so we had to give up. My wife had to give up her job, which means we lost a source of income. So I put in overtime a lot at work right now to keep our ends met. Unfortunately, it just means that I really don't have a lot of time to make videos anymore. I work. That's pretty much all I do. But when I do get a breathing moment, it is kind of nice to see what's been put out, what's new. Railroader has really seemed to get the brunt of the new things as far as train games go. Trains hasn't really gotten anything that has really scratched my interest in a hot minute, and Train Simulator, I backburnered the game as a whole pretty hard. I think I've started it up maybe twice in the last few months. Although I have seen that Train Simulator has gotten some pretty solid new models that are freeware in the form of the GP30 and I believe another SD70 of some sorts. The GP30 would be kind of cool to check out. Unfortunately, with us losing a source of income and me working as much, I haven't had the money to upgrade my computer, and so my main drive is actually completely full. I have a full terabyte of nothing but computer updates. I didn't know that was possible, but I even tried a hard computer reset, hard factory reset to wipe everything off of my computer, and I still ended up with something like 850 gigs worth of just core updates. So I find I have trouble even adding anything new, because now, since I've did that factory reset, my computer's updated a few more times, so I quite literally have something like 920 gigabytes worth of updates swallowing up my main hard drive. I can't complain. My computer's a few years old now, so a lot of it's kind of expected. I just simply don't have the money to upgrade. That's just, it's how life goes. But let's turn this train around. I have some luck with these more offline games like Railroader that I can play again offline. I can put them on an external hard drive. I don't have to worry about them being slow, because once the game is loaded, I don't have to worry about it constantly trying to load things off the internet and whatnot like internet games do. So it's a little easier to get away with offline. I would say the same for like Train Simulator, but Train Sim swallows up hundreds of gigabytes if you have mods and whatnot, which, to be perfectly honest, if you're playing Train Sim Classic today and haven't modded the living snot out of it, then I honestly would commend you, because I don't know that I could stand it. But Railroader has gotten a ton of mods. It's gotten a couple well, I say a couple updates. It hasn't really been like game updates per se that have been worth looking at. Not to crap on the developers. It's just they haven't warranted really doing a video either. I think the tutorial, they did a big tutorial update recently. And you know, for those of you that have wanted a good tutorial, there you go. But I haven't even tried it. I haven't needed it. Come up here and bring our train to here. But yeah, that's been kind of the thing for the main game. Mod wise, the mod world is blown up for Railroader, which is really quite nice. The game is still a little bit unstable for mods, I have found. If I get a lot going on, which is pretty easy to do, I find the game struggles. I don't know if it's, well, I don't know if it's the game or if it's my machine, but I end up crashing out a lot. Although it's always in Silva, and it's usually when either I have a lot going on or I jump from one end of the map to the other. So I don't know, it might not be my machine because it's always in the same place, so it might actually be one of the mods not being happy with the game, which wouldn't be surprising. It is kind of the natures of mods. Some really solid mods. I mean, you guys are seeing one right here. Locomotive mods are kind of my thing. It's what I've been playing with. It's what most of this save is locomotive mods. I have, I think, 3 map mods total on this map, and that's it. One of them being a scenery upgrade in a couple of the towns. And then I have a Whittier mod and a Silva mod, which we'll look at in a minute. But other than that, I have almost exclusively locomotive mods. I have tried a couple of the freight car mods as well, which are, some of them are neat. And I haven't seen some of the other ones. I don't know if they're cars that'll come later as I progress and some of the other freight cars get mixed in, but I screwed that up. Gosh, I have 3,000 and I have 30, but yeah, this is one of the freeware mods, a Chesapeake and Ohio T1 Texas type. Really neat locomotive. Those of you that have watched my channel for a long time know that I am a Texas person. Big fan of the Texas and Pacific, so naturally I had to jump on a Texas type locomotive, even if it is a Northeastern Railroad model. It's still a neat locomotive, and it's honestly really nice for these heavy over-the-road trains that don't take much to outrun the motive power that is included in the game. We'll hop down here. Hopefully Silva won't crash. But we got the T1. As you can see here, we've got a Redding Camelback, little 060 switcher, which I have made outstanding use of at Silva. It's a very, very fitting locomotive, with in mind that I have a Silva mod. which we'll come back here and check out. But that's one of the new locomotives available. We have Silva back here, which is modded, which, to be perfectly honest, makes a lot of sense with Silva being the point A of the base Railroader map. I kind of feel like this setup actually makes a lot of sense. Again, Silva paper mill and whatnot is huge. A dedicated switcher makes a ton of sense to stay here, but if you do it with the vanilla map, there's no source of fueling and whatnot. And I get the core map is based on a real railroad, but based on and true to scale are two very different things. So I feel like this one makes a lot of sense. So this is, I believe, a Foxy's mod or something. My map mods came from a particular place, and I do not remember specifically where. It kind of makes me sad. But as you can see, it expands the interchange yard greatly, which makes a ton of sense. Honestly, with this being the point A of the vanilla map, it makes so much more sense to have a full-size interchange yard instead of the 3 tracks that you have in the base map, because I outran those 3 tracks often with the vanilla map. And then it also just adds some kind of quality of life, such as a coal storage over here, so you can, even if your coaling towers and whatnot are already serviced, already have a car sitting at them or whatnot full of coal, you can store coal over here and keep like rotating your gondolas out so that you're purchasing coal, you have it on hand, it's ready to go, and then you just gotta load them and switch them out. As well as adding a coaling tower, it adds a water tower, so you can have a dedicated switcher here in Silva. It's got locomotive servicing, fuel and parts storage. Parts are a thing that got added to Railroader, to the vanilla game. That's a new thing. So as your locomotives have to go through maintenance, they go through their wear and tear, you will consume parts to, well, what was I doing? Why did I stop it? Oh, right. We have this. This car needs to go over there. But yeah, as I was saying, as you maintain your fleet, maintain your rolling stock, your locomotives and such, you will consume maintenance parts. So it's nice to be able to rotate the rolling stock in and out and have maintenance parts on hand. Let's see, what else we got? What else we got going for us? This is Silva. Let's boogie. Oh, that's what I needed to do. Come back up here. So a couple of core locomotives that have been added to the game itself that are not mods, such as this gorgeous modernized 440. I absolutely love this locomotive. Modern 440s are such a rare sight in modeling as a whole. As far as HO scale modeling goes and virtual modeling goes, modern 440s do not get the attention they deserve, in my opinion. These locomotives were really the backbone of short line railroading in the United States for a long time, and well into the heavy modern era they still pretty much carried branch line services and road switching services and heavy yard switchers and such for a long time. Fast passenger services. It's really a hard locomotive to get rid of. The 440 pretty much served in the United States from its existence all the way up until the very end of Steam. So it's kind of a really cool one to have gotten some attention here. I do not know the specific model. Just look at, actually, I can look at that. 'cause I'm pretty sure they tell you now. A W and LED 5. So I assume that's Wheeling at Lake Erie. But yeah, pretty neat. Let's see. Let's boogie back up here to Alarko, because I know we got one of the freight car mods sitting here. I believe this is a battleship gondola from the Virginian, if I remember correctly. It's kind of a fun addition. A neat car to mix up your coal trains from the 70 and 70. What was the other one? I think 35 or 40 ton hoppers. And give you a nice variety of hoppers and gondolas to make things a little different. Yoink. Oh, that's why that I goofed. I wasn't supposed to send that train off yet, because we're gonna have passengers that gotta go. Yeah, oh well. It's a branch line. I can bring it back in due time. But yeah, it's nice to mix up your freight a little bit. The vanilla freight is not terrible. It just it gets old seeing the same stuff over and over. So yeah, I added a couple of freight mods. Some of them are purchasable and usable by the player. Some of them are not, unless you, of course, hop in the sandbox and then you can pull up whatever you wish. But as you can see, slowly making our way. I actually never built end-to-end in Railroader. Pre-mods, Railroader, it was fun, but it definitely got old quick. But the mods have really breathed new life into it for me. So as you can see, we got another mod here, a nice little diesel box cab, which I absolutely love for running up Walker logging branch out of Bryson. It's a very nice locomotive for the logging branch. It's actually really quite powerful for being what it is. Obviously Bryson has diesel servicing facilities, so I mean it just kind of fits. Now obviously it still has the core EMD diesel engine sounds. I actually haven't added any diesel mods or diesel sound mods yet. I'll admit this is actually the first time I'm playing with diesels in the game as well. So I haven't thought to look at any of the sound mods and such for diesels yet. But there's some pretty solid diesel mods. I'll probably stop in a minute and just kind of sit down and throw out a lot of the locomotive mods. A real fan favorite here, a C&J 040 number 840. Another one of those like perfect locomotives for this game. As you can see, I use it at Bryson for the Bryson yard switcher and such. Awesome little model, very fitting. It's one of those things I really didn't realize was missing from Railroader until I found the mods, and now it's a glaringly obvious thing that kind of stands out to me. For the way Railroader is set up, even with the vanilla maps, there's not a lot of yard switchers. I mean, you got the 060 and you've got the 080 USRA designs, which, you know, they work, but little tank locomotives are really the backbone of switchers in the United States. and the core game doesn't come with any, to my knowledge, other than the 282 logging Mikado. It's a tank loco, but one would be hard pressed to call it a switcher per se. It's definitely a Northwestern logging design that, I mean, you can use it as switcher, but it's not really a dedicated yard goat like these little switchers are, these little 08, 040s and such. So I actually have found a few little tank loco mods. A lot of fun, a lot of neat design. But let's see, where am I? 102. Ella here, I haven't really done anything with. I did use a station mod, which moves the train station to the switch, or to the siding here for Ella, which, another one of those things that makes way more sense to me. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I always end up getting caught up trying to do switching here for Ella, and then I'll have my passenger train, my mainline passenger train, end up coming through at the same time. And with the core, or with the vanilla game train station sitting right here, it sits, you know, square in the way of both switches essentially. It's blocking off the switch, so you can't really avoid it. It just makes much more sense for the train to pull into here, and then if something's coming from this way, it can breeze right on by it. You can still kind of do a little bit of the switching. You can still pretty much go about your day without getting blocked off by your over-the-road passenger train. Again, just one of those things, one of those like quality of life things that just, it makes so much more sense to me. Let's see, what do we got? House. Grab that and push it in. And then we'll boogie back down to here. So this was the other map mod that I ended up grabbing. More of a quality of life map mod, more so than a necessity. I would honestly, I would dare say that the Silva map mod's kind of a necessity. As I was saying earlier, the vanilla game, it can outrun you, and those 3 interchange tracks there are very easy to outrun and to overwhelm. And with Silva being the point A of the vanilla map, it makes way more sense to have a full servicing facility and a full-size yard and whatnot there, even if it's not historically accurate. I mean, it's also not historically accurate to have some of these other things here, some of the motive power that's here, but, you know, it'd be what it be. The Whittier map, on the other hand, this is more of a quality of life thing. Is it needed? No. Do I like it though? Yeah. Especially starting out. If you like that kind of the base starter map from maybe Whittier to Bryson, you don't want to go all the way to Silver or whatever, or even just starting out, you want to do it, you know, hardcore from scratch, don't cheat in money or anything. This is a handy setup. I believe this map mod is from the same person that did my Silva map mod, and it really has made a difference, because as you can see, I have built to Bryson, and just as it sits right now, I have contracts with every single industry on the map right now, open all the way up to Bryson, and I do a lot of inner switching between Silva, Whittier, and Bryson. Essentially, I set up my trains at Silva, send them down to Whittier, undo the cars that would go to, say, Whittier and believe it's Wilmot back that way, and then Ella down there, and all the lumber industries and whatnot, all the Connolly Creek logging and such. All of that gets done right here. Now this map mod does make Whittier an interchange too, which can be an annoyance. After you move on to Silva, it makes having an interchange here at Whittier kind of pointless, but it is bearable. It does kind of make things a little more interesting, I guess, for early game. If you like to have a lot of things going on, you'll end up having switchers, you know, setting up trains and whatnot on both Whittier and Silva. And again, it doesn't really take too much to end up outrunning yourself. So, plenty to do. Another one of those really cool locomotive mods. This is a fictional locomotive based on a really well-known HO scale modeler named John Allen, who did the Gore and Dappled. It's a 410-0 locomotive. It was one of his custom jobs, and somebody opted to build a model of it in Railroader. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a really fitting design for this map. The Decapod was actually a really popular design for Branch, and kind of heavy road switcher duties in the US, and it fits this region really well. I forget if the sawmill is part of the Whittier map mod or if it's a standalone. I'll admit that much because I know there's a bunch of Whittier sawmill map mods, and then there's some Whittier yard map mods, and then I think there's a couple of map mods that include the sawmill and the yard like as one thing, and I forget if if it's one map mod or not. But as you can see, the sawmill gets expanded on here. You have 4 log tracks, which you will absolutely have a time trying to keep up with. Essentially, the sawmill ends up being the backbone of your income for a lot of early to mid-game playthrough, which, you know, is fine. What else? Like I said, that's the extent of my map mods. I don't have a lot. I haven't opted to play around with map mods too much. Not until I at least have maybe this map all the way end to end unlocked. Just because I haven't unlocked this full map end to end yet. It's just kind of a thing I haven't done. Not right. Oh, but yeah, not for lack of wanting to. It's just like I said earlier. Without the mods, the vanilla game does get pretty boring. I mean, there's no other way around it. Apparently their modeling team is like non-existent, so we don't in this whole time that Railroaders existed, I can count on one hand how many buildings have been added to the game, like to the core vanilla game, and that's kind of one of those things that ended up that's kind of killed it for me. I mean, the map's empty, for lack of a better way to put it. The map is empty vanilla. I mean, heck, we run down to let's go back to Whittier. Go back to Whittier, and you know, it's supposed to be a town with a train station, a bustling industry, logging industries, a couple other industries and whatnot, and what do we got? One house. Now, there are some things that have been added. You know, I will give them credit where it is due. Stuff has been added, building-wise. It's just, it's really pockmarked. Like, here's one here, and then let's go across the map, and here's a building here. Uh, but other than that, it's, for lack of a better term, it is a very bare bones map. I mean, the roads don't really make sense. The car roads, they just kind of end. There are no cars. There's no people. There's no animals. I mean, none of the logging industries have anything whatsoever. There's still just a track dumped off in the middle of the woods, and that's it. Which I know some people are going to be like, that's how logging industries are. Logging industries also don't have trees around their sidings, and there's typically equipment and people. And that has not improved on the game at all since its inception. And again, I get it. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing the developers said they haven't had a modeler outside of, I believe Green Coast Studios works with them, and they're almost exclusively like locomotive and rail car modelers. They don't do anything building wise and whatnot, which I don't understand why not. Like, if you're going to be in a paid project, you model, you should help out with things, but whatever. But yeah, the map has always felt empty, and that's probably the biggest killer for me. One of those things I don't like with Sidetrack. Get it, Sidetrack, but yeah, one of those things I don't like with this particular map mod is this track here doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a long siding that doesn't connect right there. You would think that would make sense. I mean, this track literally does not get used ever for me. And it would be much more useful as a siding, but whatever. But yeah, as I was saying, scenery-wise, industry-wise, there hasn't been a lot of improvement. I believe a flour mill was added to the game somewhere down the line that I haven't unlocked yet. Which, again, good on them. Apparently it looks really nice. I actually haven't yet to get to experience it. I believe it's farther on down the line. But, you know, there's been little things like that that have been added. So, you know, it's not like development of the game has been completely dead, but there's a lot of things from the core game since release that just haven't seen the improvement I wish would be seen, like it would come about, without the necessity of mods per se, because I know there's more scenery mods out there. There's a whole building pack that's been made for this game for those of you that know how to get into the map editor. I don't know how, or otherwise I would play with it myself probably, but somehow you can get into the map editor and drop in these modded buildings and whatnot and kind of fill in the game. But it's kind of a shame. Well, I say that. It is and isn't a shame that you got to go through mods to do it. And I say that because on one hand, you're getting the core game. You kind of expect a more filled in, finished look. On the other hand, as we see with Railroads Online, the mod community really carries the game, for lack of a better term. Like, honestly, with Railroads Online, if it had mod support, I feel like it would not have died as bad as it has. Which, you know, fun side note, I'm pretty sure Railroads Online is effectively dead. I saw a big article recently that said there would not be any more major updates or major development done for Railroads Online, anymore, which I hate to say. I'm not surprised, but I'm not. The development of Railroad Online was rocky to begin with, and it went downhill pretty rapidly. Cool concept, terrible execution, and honestly, if they keep it locked off from modders, there's no chance of it ever getting much of a revival. It's a huge shame. I know people crap on it and try to compare it to Century of Steam, which, you know, I look forward to. I'm a train nerd, of course. I'm gonna look forward to Century of Steam when it comes out, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm not gonna hype it up like I see everybody else doing, because to be perfectly honest, that's how you just end up disappointing yourself. If you hype the snot out of a game and then it releases and turns out to not be what you thought it would be, or it didn't live up to all the hype you gave it, it's gonna be, you know, pretty disappointing. So I personally am not gonna get my hopes up. I've seen far too many hyped up new games in the last couple of years that either fell flat on their faces or just did not live up to the hype, i.e. Railroaders Online. Railroads Online had a lot of hype, and it got built up, and boy did it fall flat on its face. Railroader 2, to an extent. I think Railroader got a lot of hype. People thought it would be the replacement for Railroads Online. It was going to be the next big thing. And I think people thought it would be much more of a train simulator, and it's not by any stretch. Railroader is definitely more of a railroad simulator, not so much a train simulator. So locomotive operations, very basic. It's very simple, and as you can see, I haven't even bothered with the cabs. I haven't even bothered like running them myself, because once you get to, you know, having multiple locomotives, multiple industries and locations, you're going to spend a lot of time with the AI operating the trains and just jumping from different points along the route. It's just how it'd be. It'd be what it'd be, you know. It's not to say it's bad, not by any stretch. If that's your thing, then that's your thing. Like, I enjoy it for the most part. It's kind of what I like. I kind of like the whole business tycoon thing. I grew up with Chris Sawyer's Locomotion, which was originally Transport Tycoon, I believe. Now it's Open TTD, yeah. I grew up with that one, so I love the business tycoon genre. It's a really kind of a niche one, but a lot of fun. And that's kind of more what Railroader's geared towards. More the operational side of trains rather than physically operating a train. So I think that ended up letting a lot of people down, in the sense that they thought this was going to be more of a train simulator rather than a train game. Again, not to say it's bad. It just wasn't what people expected. They got a lot of hype. The hype didn't live up to what they wanted. And moral of the story, it's kind of how I feel like Century of Steam will be like. You know, I'm not shitting on them. I'm just saying I think way too much hype is being built up for a game that nobody has played other than the developers. You're expecting a lot for something all you'd see is videos of in a day and age where seeing is believing. Let's see. Cool. Another one of those cool little locomotives that got added. And a real favorite, a little Porter 040. It's actually the first time I've seen it in well, it's not the first time I've seen a porter in railroads in a train sim, but it's the first time I've seen a more modernized porter. Trains has a very, very, very old model of these newer porters, and that's really it. Train Simulator doesn't have one of these. Railroads Online doesn't have one of these. Trains does not have a new model of these. And this is really a fun little locomotive, but as it goes boogieing along at 25 mile an hour. But yeah, you know, just kind of some thoughts. Just kind of tossing thoughts out there, essentially. I should have made this go all the way back. Back it up, hook up to that, take it back down to Bryson. Another locomotive mod, I didn't think about it when I first looked at it. Canadian Pacific D series. Trains actually has a better model of this. I'm not shitting on the modeler. You know, again, it's Railroads Online. It's not really a focus on the trains themselves as opposed to operations, but Trains has a much nicer model of the D series, which has kind of made this one pale in my eyes, but it's still a nice locomotive. It's great for these early game end-to-end passenger trains that, you know, aren't too big, aren't too heavy, because you can run end-to-end on this map with really one fill. You know, you get down here to Alarka Junction, fill the water, take it all the way back to Silva, and still have coal left over, which is quite nice. And it's got a lot of oomph. Now we back that up, bring that in. But yeah, let's hop over here. We got a lot to do here. So Alarka Fuel, so that's gonna go over here. So yeah, let's go into the sandbox mode and pull out some of the other mod models that I've picked up. Mode sandbox. Sets game mode to sandbox. We'll let this stuff do its stuff and do its thing while we look at some of our mods. There's one. I've looked at this one before, back when mods in Railroader were still a relatively new thing. There wasn't a lot of mods to begin with. This is actually one of the first locomotive mods, one of the first steam locomotives mods, period. Really fun one. I believe it's the modernized Virginia and Truckee Inyo? Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not certain which locomotive. I know it's one of the Virginia and Truckee's surviving 440s, but I forget which particular one. But again, another one of those really fun mods. It's not great for this map. I mean, it's an underpowered locomotive, for lack of a better term. It's really hard to find much use, even early game, outside of maybe your passenger services when the trains are still really, really light. Otherwise, not a lot of use for it in this map, but still a really fun model. I mean, look at it. Just nice. Really nice. So, let's get rid of that. Oh yeah, I have a tender mod. Well, it's not really a tender mod. It's more of a locomotives mod that allows you to paint and modify the models. And as you can see, I've got red walls just for giggles and squiggles on the 440 here. You saw my mic earlier on in the game. It was, you know, orange. This is a mod that allows you to modify your models, paint everything, paint things like the boilers and whatnot. Which, you know, I really liked. But to have it, it also forced me to have one of the other mods, or it's part of that mod, I believe, that essentially mix and matches the tenders that are available. Which, you know, if that floats your boat, it floats your boat. It's not my thing. I use just kind of the vanilla setup on the locomotives. But yeah, that's one of those things. So like, you can have the A23 American, which is that right there, and you can have it with, say, the 282 tender. But you know, hey, if it floats the boat, it floats the boat. Again, it works. It's just not my cup of tea. There we go. You can kind of see. Guys, it's not fitting, and it kind of stretches out the use of models. You know, it wasn't uncommon to see tenders get mix and matched back in the day, especially on roads like the Southern Pacific. Yeah, so let's go to locomotives first. So we looked at that. Next mod locomotive, obviously the C&O T1, which we've already looked at. Big fan of this one. This is just stinking cool. Really useful later on in the game. You'll use the snot out of it. It's big, it's heavy. I believe this one is another mod. C37 Connie. It is. So this is a Southern Railway, if I remember right. 280. I think I remember right. A Southern Railway 280. One of their earlier 280s that actually fits this map quite well. You know, it's got taller drivers. It's really good for over-the-road service. You know, nice, affordable, usable consolidation. I don't have one in this map right now, just because I truth be told, have enough locomotives to use right now. There's no point in getting any more. L. Smith Machining goes over there. Right there. Chemicals, gotta go back there. Anyway, as I was saying. Oh, right. Before I forget, I got passengers waiting to get off here. I obviously have a bell and whistle mod. That's pretty much a requirement for Railroader. The bell mod especially. It's one of those things I didn't realize I really liked until I got it. But it's really nice being able to swap out the bell sounds. Just to, you know, have something different. Change things up a little bit. The whistle mods, not a huge need. There are some vanilla whistles included to switch things up, but it's nice to have better options, because some of the guys out there do some phenomenal sounds. I really wish somebody would do locomotive sounds. A Mastodon got added. This is a vanilla locomotive, actually, which it's a Norfolk and Western design. Those of you familiar with Strasburg Railroad, you'll know this locomotive quite well. It's a nice model. This is actually one of the models I have in this map save. It's another one of those outstanding over-the-road switchers, like a road switcher. Very nice locomotive for that. Very stout, very powerful. Get rid of that. Hop back over. Get rid of that. That's been added. The consolidations actually got changed up, if I remember right. They did. So now we've got one of the Southern Railways heavier designs, which we've seen in the preservation world with number 630 and number 722. So this will be a familiar sight. And then they actually modified this one. So this one got turned into a LS&I, I believe is what this locomotive is. An LS&I 280. Kind of a neat prototype. A couple of these locomotives exist today. One of them on the Western Maryland. Highly modified, but kind of a neat one. Neat how they did that one up. Keep on scrolling. Decapod we got. Here's the D85 that I showed you guys earlier. The 410O. Again, really odd yet fitting locomotive on this map. In essence, it's just a chunkier decapod. It honestly looks like it uses the decapod's running gear. But yeah, just a really nice side. It's got a very Erie look to it. Erie Railroad with that high centered headlight. But it's honestly fitting. I quite like it. But that's a mod. The D10, that's a mod. We saw that down there with my passenger train, a Canadian Pacific D10. Outstanding model. Very handy, very useful, very versatile. Yoink, yoink. This little port really doesn't use up a lot of water. It's kind of impressive for it being the size that it is. Although that mile might be a little bit much. We'll see. Get rid of that again. What else we got? D10s, the Santa Fe's, big old Santa Fe's have been added to the core game. I believe it's a USRA design, a USRA heavy, which, you know, kind of neat. Not particularly inspiring, but neat. The USRA 210s are something we've seen in trains for a very, very long time. Useful if you like, you know, like playing core vanilla without mods. But to be perfectly honest, it gets surpassed by the Texas type pretty easily. Let's see what else we got that's new. Here's a fun one. I used the snot out of this. L27 articulated. This is based on the Skookum. One of the only 2442s left in North America. And I believe the only one operational in North America. Awesome logging locomotive. I used the snot out of this early game because it's cheap, it's powerful, it's versatile, it's great for all the logging industries. But that's a mod. The P18, not a mod. 43, not a mod. Here's one. S22, I believe. Yeah, that's the C&J 840. I believe believe this is a USATC. It is the USATC S100. This is a really cool one. I like this locomotive. I actually had another save that unfortunately ended up getting corrupted. But I use this locomotive a lot because it's really, really cheap and it's really, really powerful. But boy, does it suck up a lot of fuel. Compared to literally any of the other switchers, this thing cooks through water and coal fast. So it's kind of a hard one to come back to. It's a really, really nice model, but I feel like it shouldn't cook through its fuel as quick as it does when you compare it to like the C&J 040. I can literally switch out all of Bryson and still not go through half of its water capacity. This little Porter, again, I can use the snot out of it and not go through its entire water capacity. It's kind of hard to come back to. It's not a bad model, again. It's really quite nice. It just too quick. Way too quick. Put this car over here so that we can yoink and push it back. Let's see, what else we got? Boom, get rid of that. The Camelback, which we looked back earlier. Love this for Silva. It's a very fitting locomotive. You got a ton of fuel to do all your switching with and whatnot before needing a refuel. It's honestly an outstanding locomotive for there. I really wish you would sit down for a little bit. You've got up and swapped positions a dozen times since I started this video. The joys of cats. Another switcher. This is the Porter. The little Porter. Let's keep on going. Here's one. This guy added. This is cool. Is it this one? Yeah. This is a Illinois Central 460. Very recognizable design thanks to everybody's favorite locomotive engineer, K.C. Jones. This is purportedly the locomotive that he died operating. Illinois Central, I believe 382, something along those lines. I forget the specific number, but this is the 460 design that I believe he was operating, and thus it got added to the game. Another one of those models that's not got a ton of use. At its price point and whatnot, it's pretty easy to end up just bypassing this locomotive. It's very clearly built for high-speed service that you won't do on this map. There's nowhere on this map that really is high-speed. Most of the map's 35 to 45 mile an hour. Leggy locomotives like this don't have a ton of use, and it doesn't have a lot of tractive effort. But that's not to say it's not new. Cool. I mean, again, who doesn't like to have different models available to them? And again, it's a core game locomotive now, so you don't have to add a mod or anything to play with it. I believe yeah, we got Southern Railway 460. That's core game. There's actually a handful of 10-wheelers available, which is kind of entertaining. I don't really know why the D10 is listed like that. So we got T33 10-wheeler, and then the D10 10-wheeler. Wherever it was, somewhere up here. But yeah, we'll go back down. But yeah, I don't know why it's listed that way. It's odd. such is life, I guess. Core locomotives. They added, I guess I didn't look at this. They separated the Pacific types. We got a USRA design. A heavy USRA design, which is cool. And then the P-48, which is a Southern Railway design. Very famous design. PS-14, P-14. I don't know why it's like right there. But yeah, this got added. Pretty neat, pretty famous. Everybody knows that basic design. Go back down to where I was at. Where were we? 10-wheelers. Oh, I love this. So, early game. First locomotive I bought. This is a hilarious mod that actually is wildly useful early game. For switching in Whittier, love this thing. It's kind of goofy. I believe it's based on a surviving 042 in Strasbourg now. I believe it was one of the locomotives that was preserved by one of Walt Disney's friends. We all know Walt Disney was a big fan of his trains. A lot of his friends were fans of trains. A lot of them had full-size backyard railroads. And I believe that's where this locomotive design comes from. It looks very familiar to that. Very weak, very short fuel range. Weirdly enough, very useful as a yard switcher in Whittier, though. Early game, I used the snot out of it. Moving on from that, we got the box cab here, which I showed you guys earlier. Very handy. Keeping the railroad going while I'm videoing. Well, keeping it going-ish. Go back to here. One that I actually haven't gotten to play around with much. Haven't had a need for it yet. But an RS1 road switcher. Very nice model. Really, a lot of the diesels that have been added have been, for the most part, like the most basic. Yeah, we got core game. I believe we got an SD7, the GP9, and the SW1. And then mods thus far have been the RS1. You know, nice enough, but about as basic as it gets of the RS series. That or an RS3, honestly, which I think an RS3 has been done, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not dead certain of that, don't quote me. The F7A and B, again, about as basic pitch as it gets for diesel locomotives. We have looked at the F7s, I believe, earlier. These are another one of those like really early mod locomotives. One of the first mod locomotives added to Railroader. Yeah, nice enough. We actually have EMD 567 sounds and such. Overall nice, just basic. It's one of those locomotives that you've seen it in one game, you've seen it in all of them. It's kind of nice to move on. So I'm not going to spend much time on that. And a GP38. Not really fitting to this game's era. Yeah, neat enough locomotive, but not fitting at all to this game's era, really. Model actually looks really nice, too. That's what's crazy. The model actually looks better than some of the crap that we've got in Train Sim. Yeah, not fitting in the slightest to Railroader. Same with this one. We got a GP40, GP38, GP40. natural progression. Again, not fitting in the slightest to this game, but it was added, so if it floats your boat, it floats your boat. I don't know who would come to Railroader looking for modern power, but I mean, clearly I have it, so. RS 1325. This is kind of a cool one. I actually do not know too terribly much about the locomotive itself, but it looks like a funny conglomeration of the low hood of a low hood GP9, an SW 1200's body, and probably like a GP9 frame. It's a wombo combo. It's kind of entertaining. Actually fitting in the sense that, you know, it's a road switcher style, but a bit modern for this game. It's another one of those like really early models though. One of the first for Railroader. I got a 44 tonner, which I wish I could say I've gotten to play with it, but I haven't because I got it and I couldn't figure. I still can't figure out how to make it run. It's actually really fitting too. The locomotive is, you know, great size for this game. 44 tonners are very, very, very old. They were definitely around at the end of Steam, so they fit the game pretty well. Very useful size. I haven't got to use it though. Model's quite nice. Same for these. We got RDCs again. Really fitting for this game, especially for, you know, these branch line train stations. I haven't got to use it yet. Couldn't figure out how to make it move. I thought the AI would let it move, but nope, I was wrong. Believe we got plenty of fuel to M2E, M2S, M1E. Locations. M1E's up here. M2's on this side. Entertaining. Balls. Gonna have to do a little playing around. That's okay. Boogie, 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 boogie. Yeah, I got this. But yeah, that's the extent of the locomotive mods. So we've seen the map packs, or we've seen the map mods, we've seen the locomotive mods. There are some passenger car mods, and I actually have them downloaded. I don't know why they won't show up. Oh, maintenance away got added to the game. That's kind of an entertaining thing. Useful? Not really. It doesn't do anything, but it is there. Handful of cabooses have been added to the mod packs, which is pretty cool. We got a little bobber caboose, Southern Pacific caboose, you know, wagon top. I believe, yeah, that's it of the modded caboose. Yeah, just something fun. May or may not get a lot of use out of the caboose, but you know. I believe the AAR steel frame boxcar is a mod, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember right, one of the boxcars is a mod. I forget it specifically. It's either the USRA design or the AAR. Not certain. Oh well. The Union tank car is a mod. The hoppers here are mods. Ton of road names. It's kind of entertaining. The battleship gondolas, G4Cs. I think that's it. This might be a mod. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't remember. But I think that's it. I think that's the extent of all the mods that I'm running right now. So yeah, that's the extent of them. So one might ask, if I can do this for Railroader, why can't I do this for the other games? Well, for some weird reason, I say weird reason, it's really not a weird reason. Railroader uses Unity Mod Manager, which automatically puts my downloads for Railroader into the Railroader file, which is on my external hard drive. A-okay, it's fine, it's great. Problem is, Train Simulator does not do that. Train Simulator Classic tries to open my mods on the main hard drive, which is completely and utterly full with no space left to open things. So it tries to open them there and then move them to the external hard drive. I don't know why, but unfortunately that pretty much has locked up checking out anything new for Train Sim Classic. Again, it's kind of a such is life. It's not like I play it very much anymore anyway. I'll admit I much prefer Trains over Train Sim Classic at this point. Especially after playing like Railroader, some of the new maps for trains, or the newer, I guess. Maps have been out for a little bit, but you know, playing stuff like the Gila Railway on trains, it's really hard to go back to Train Sim Classic and look at the graphics that have not been updated in a decade. So yeah, but that's kind of the reasoning. I can't really do anything with Train Sim Classic. It just, I don't know why my computer does what it does, but it's doing it, and that's pretty much bogged me out. Trains, I haven't had really a reason to do a video on. Nobody that I know of has put out anything new for trains in a while. Really nothing worth looking at. Nothing that I would say is just, goodness me, cool, wow, quick, make a video. It seems like it's kind of died down a lot. And then, as I was saying earlier, I'm pretty sure Railroads Online has died. I think that game has effectively run its course. I don't see any reason in doing a video on it. I know a couple of people that still play it. It's not that you can't play it, but personally, the fun of that game was going to be playing with friends online, and the game runs like hot garbage online with somebody in my server. So with them not planning any more major updates, allegedly, I don't see a future for Railroads Online. So yeah, Railroader, here I am. Railroader and trains are kind of my thing, and Railroader has gotten a ton of mods, and maybe I'll continue looking at them as some come out. There are some other mods that I had downloaded. I don't know why they're not showing up. Texas State Shops, I believe is who it is. They actually did a heavyweight pack for this, so that you had some heavyweight passenger cars and such. I have it downloaded. I don't know why it doesn't show up in game. There's a really cool freelanced 3-cylinder 282. Again, I have it downloaded, and again, I don't know why it won't show up. But like, That's probably a problem on my end. I don't know what the problem is. I'll have to look into it, but a ton of mods uh, that have really brought a lot of life back to Railroader. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not hating on the devs. I get if you don't have a model, you don't have a model, or you can't really go any further. It's not really their fault per se, but as it sits, vanilla Railroaders, for me, it's just hard to keep coming back to. The lack of filled-in industries, the lack of life, the lack of scenery, the lack of loads. I mean, a lot of the freight cars, passenger cars, do not have loads at all. Or they have really basic loads, like really basic loads that just, it's hard to enjoy. Again, if it floats your boat, it floats your boat. It's hard to get over. But, yeah, mods are carrying Railroader. Mods have brought a lot of life back to Railroader, I think. It's nice to see. I enjoy it. Really and truly, that's about it, though. I don't really have much of anything else. At this point, it's just simply playing and enjoying Railroader as it is. And like I said earlier, I've been playing some other games. Star Wars Outlaws went on sale on Steam a while ago. It's another one of those you don't have to have online service to play. It is kind of frustrating that you have to have freaking Ubisoft open to play those, so you like kinda do have to have internet service. It's a dumb thing for a game. You can't play with people, but it is what it is. The game itself, though, really cool. If you liked Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, then it's absolute must check out, in my opinion. Let's see, what else we got? Really, that's about it. I really don't have anything else. So if I'm missing anything with Railroader, let me know. I would love to check it out. Might be something else fun. There might be better mod packs out there, better map packs, or map packs that one might consider well worth checking out. I haven't messed with them too much. Again, Silva and Whittier are pretty much it, but certainly open to others. But yeah, that's kind of it. It's kind of a new things with Railroader and kind of an update to the channel and what's going on. Pretty much life has gone on. Life has taken over. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you next time.